A pivotal point for education across the Commonwealth as education leaders chart the way forward for the sector.
Delegates today focused on quality in education and private sector engagement. They also heard presentations relative to this year's theme of performance, paths, and productivity. But last night, the official opening ceremony gave the participants a cultural taste of the Bahamas. But as Altavis Manning tells us tonight, the work begins in earnest now for this conference, which marks a pivotal point in education in the Commonwealth.
We must aspire to a standard of excellence that is unbiased to those seeking an education and provide an educational product that promotes excellence and is relevant.
And that can be considered the common denominator of the 19th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers. Chairman and host, Education Minister the Honourable Jerome Fitzgerald, and Commonwealth Secretary General Kamalash Sharma both underscored what it means to expand and enhance education throughout the more than 50 countries under the Commonwealth banner. But it was Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie who emphasized how education holds the key to overcoming many social challenges.
In the United States, the 2010 census showed that a black man with a high school diploma was 70% less likely to be imprisoned than one with no diploma. In its 2013 Health at a Glance report, the OECD shared a statistic even more worthy of our attention. Women who obtain a university degree live an average of 4 years longer than women who do not. Among men, higher education adds an average of 8 years life expectancy.
As Prime Minister Christie outlined those global statistics, he admitted some of the challenges facing education in the Bahamas too. One of the primary issues he's concerned about is the high school graduation rate.
Whether in terms of crime prevention, employment and earning potential, or life expectancy, high school is a milestone through which all must pass to begin fulfilling their true potential. The educational product that we offer must equip our students with the tools necessary to perform at satisfactory levels, avail themselves of various career paths, and position them to be productive members of society.
The Prime Minister, though, boasted of his government's intention to assist the many young people whom he believes simply lack the training and basic skills that are required to take advantage of employment opportunities. The goal is to reinforce the notion that every child must count and none must be left behind.
Even the most disadvantaged, the disabled, enjoys a fundamental right by the commitment inherent in the philosophical statement I just made, to share in the equity of their country. So indeed, I would submit to you that there is a more compelling mission that we have today than to help secure the future of young people, to dissipate their sense of hopelessness, to fix the problem of joblessness. And those from this very region who are here would know we're talking about joblessness for young people soaring way beyond 30%.
Altavis Manning, ZNS Network News.
Altavis Manning now joins us live from the Atlantis Theatre, where the actual conference has started today as they tackle some very important goals, including the trying to tackle the Millennium Development Goals that came out in 2000. Alto.
Well, Chris, after that authentically Bahamian opening ceremony last night here at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, delegates had a very busy day on day 3 of the 19th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers Conference. It was a very busy day for delegates as well as the ministers of education throughout the Commonwealth as they began to discuss primary items on their agenda. Now, as you saw in my story that aired just seconds ago, I mentioned comments made last night by the Commonwealth Secretary General Kamalash Sharma. Joining me now is his assistant, David Banks. And Mr. Banks, I just want you to tell me, how is the Commonwealth a grand family of nations?
Well, what you have a sense of when you come to a meeting like this is just how quickly everybody bonds and works together. There's a real sense of goodwill amongst the ministers, amongst the officials from the education ministries, whether it's from an enormous country like India or from a small island in the Pacific. And everybody, because they have this sense of affinity and goodwill, you can get down to business very quickly. So that's very productive, and that works very well for the people of the Commonwealth. And of course, this conference is about the people of the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth Charter starts with the words, "We, the people of the Commonwealth." And there's always a big sense of that at Commonwealth meetings. And it's helped enormously by the fact that alongside the meeting for education ministers, there's a meeting for youth. There's a meeting for the stakeholders, such as the university vice-chancellor. There's a meeting for teachers. And so you really have a sense of the people of the Commonwealth and the ministers responsible for making policy decisions working together and taking part in this global sense of working together for the common good.
Mr. Banks, last night the Commonwealth Secretary General mentioned that this is the first time this conference has been held in the Caribbean for a very long time. What are the delegates saying about being here in the Bahamas?
Well, it's wonderful to be back here in the Bahamas, and of course this is the biggest ministerial meeting of the Commonwealth, and so it's a great act of generosity on the part of the government and the people of Bahamas to bring this meeting back here to the Caribbean after 25 years. And of course the welcome that we've had has been outstanding. The Bahamian people. What I'm struck by is you see the colors of Bahamas everywhere, but most of all in the clothes of the people of the Bahamas. But it's wonderful that there is here the beating heart of this worldwide Commonwealth in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Mr. Banks.
Thank you.
As you heard from Mr. Banks, the delegates are enjoying themselves here in the Bahamas, and we encourage you to stay tuned to the ZNS Network for full coverage of this week's 19th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers. Reporting live from the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, I'm Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News. Back to you in the studio.